Hello YouTube, my name's Marie. Today we are going to do a first impression review video for the first 2 episodes in the currently airing K-drama entitled Yumi's Cells. Now before we get started, I do want to recognize that this is my 3rd consecutive video. That hasn't happened in a while for my channel, so please like and comment so the algorithm knows that you guys are still around and are still interested in my videos. If you don't know what to comment, maybe just throw like the clapping emoji down in the comments. So on to synopsis and characters. So our female lead is a working woman in her late 20s, early 30s. I know they mentioned her age in the first episode, but I cannot remember. Yumi is still recovering from her recent heart-wrenching breakup that gave her absolutely zero closure. That is a complete side note I want to one day discuss about K-dramas and how the breakup seems so sterile. Like they're so clean cut. Like whenever there's a breakup on screen, it never seems to have like the discussion and the closure that I think happens in real life. So I'm so curious to know if that's how breakups actually play out in Korean society. Like, yeah, that side note. Anyways, moving on. And because of that recent breakup, she has just thrown herself completely into her work, and she's actually gotten a promotion because of her hard work. And her love cell has fallen into a coma. Yes, you did hear me right. I did say love cell. Now, in this universe, every human has an expansive internal network of cells occupying their brain. It's almost like a little city. They've got like a legal justice system for whose cells' actions have like embarrassed or been a detriment to Yumi in one way. And they control things like emotion, hunger signals, her facial expressions, her fashion sense, like all of those aspects. Basically anything that you make a decision about, there's a cell in your head that's like personified as like a little character making those decisions. But once she starts to develop a pretty intense crush on a coworker, her love cell starts to wake up from her coma. The love cell waking up from her coma literally sends her running after what she wants. Is the coworker our male lead, you might be wondering? No. He's not actually, and I'm not really going to talk about the male lead at all in this first impression video because he's not really introduced in any substantial way until the 2nd episode, and he doesn't get any screen time until that 2nd episode. But I actually loved this choice. I didn't know much about Yumi's cell at all when I started watching it. I just knew that it was like Inside Out with adults, and I'll talk about that a bit more later. I thought that coworker was our male lead at first. Like the whole scenario and how it plays out was a lot of fun to just go along with the ride. So I'm not going to talk much about the male lead and how he's introduced and all of that. So, okay, so Inside Out for adults or with adults. I agree. I can see the comparison. It's quite obvious actually, but I do think that Yumi's cell is putting their own spin on this concept. They have a very strong artistic voice, and it's not like a carbon copy. Like there's so many more cells with so many more occupations than there were in Inside Out. And yeah, just the overall like character design of the cells are very different, and what they can do is very different from Inside Out. So yes, I do think probably the initial concept for the show came from Inside Out, but it's very much its own thing. Well, I don't think all the moments to do with the cells really land. There were quite a few that I found very childish, like toddler-ish. Like I could envision you putting like this show on and like sticking your toddler in front of it and they'd have a lot of fun. So it's like some of the moments were cringy, childish, and just like didn't quite land, but then other moments would come in and I could really see the potential, and it made me go, ah, like I see what you're going for. For those of you who have seen the first 2 episodes, that very last scene of episode 2, don't worry, this isn't a spoiler, when we see that interplay between the joke cell and then the male lead's actual delivery of those jokes, and then Yumi's reaction, both her, like the actress, and her cell and then the cell using the puppet, oh, I was like, I get it. Like, I see potential of what you guys are going for. So moving on, and I'll just re-emphasize, my one and only con is it can be cringy at times. Like, most of it I can stomach, but I do get very sympathetically embarrassed. So if it's really awful, I do have to fast forward for my own like enjoyment's sake. And there was one moment during the first 2 episodes where I did kind of fast forward a little bit, and that to me is worth noting, because if a show is just chock full of cringy moments where you can't sit through them, like, you're not gonna enjoy it, right? But there was only one moment, and the rest of them you can stomach. Pros: I like all of the actors involved. Actually, our female lead, she's an actress I always enjoy watching, even if the actual content of the series that she's starring in isn't my favorite. Like, I just find her to be a very personable and very likable actress. So all of the actors are balancing that childish, youthful atmosphere of the show very well, so that you still believe that these scenarios could actually happen. And to be fair, I did have like a really goofy smile on my face for much of the first 2 episodes. One of you guys recently said that the reason why you love K-dramas is for the formula. It makes you feel like you're having like a very comfortable, comforting, like warm cup of hot chocolate, and that's how I feel about this show. The colors are also adding to that youthful kind of bubblegum feel. So am I gonna keep watching Yumi Cells? That's a hard yes. Like, I'm really looking forward to episode 3. There's actually not any other K-dramas currently airing that I'm this excited for. I am trying to get through the first episode of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha because so many of you guys said that you were watching it, but the first episode is just not speaking to me. It's really frustrating. I was really hoping I would just fall head over heels for it. I am gonna try and watch all of the first episode and hopefully the second, but that one's just not grabbing me. And then I'm also watching the historical one that's like Red Sky, Lovers Under the Red Sky or something like that. Yeah, the same thing was happening. I just didn't love the first episode. The ending of the first episode, wow, that's when it started to hook me. But like, so this is the only currently airing show right now that has really got my attention. Alright you guys, that's everything from me. If you've made it this far and you again want to help out the video and my channel and leave a comment, let me know what you think your like boss cell would be. Like, are you controlled by your love cell or your fashion cell? Mine would definitely be like a construction foreman or like an assistant. Like, I just picture my boss cell as like a girl with a hard hat and a clipboard, and she's making sure all the other cells stay in line. Yeah, so have a good day and a good night. Bye.